Okay, let's talk about the manifestors, or in quantum human design, the initiators. So, manifestors make up 9% of the global population. And what makes up a manifestor is that you have an open sacral center and you have a motor center that is defined to the throat. And this is called manifested energy. A motor center is the sacral, the emotional solar plexus, the will center, or the root. So obviously you have an open sacral, so it's not defined. So you will either have the emotional solar plexus, the will center, or the root moving towards the throat center. Manifestors are incredibly powerful creators you're here to do things because you're inspired to. Not because someone told you to, but because of your simple inspiration. And if the whole world was a stage and all of the types had different parts to play, manifestors, you are like the producers of the play. So you are here to initiate projects, you're here to get the ball rolling, and you're here to initiate people to come together. On a quantum level, you are really here to lead change in the world by inspiring other people, other types into action. And you do this by giving direction and momentum to others through your initiation and by following your natural internal flow. You are here to create your own path in the world and do things your way, not like everyone else. Each and every single manifestor or initiator is going to be very different on what they initiate and their own connection with their creative source power. You're not necessarily here to complete the projects, and this is often the case because you don't have the defined sacral center, so you don't necessarily have that sacral battery energy to bring things to completion. And because of this, it's going to be important for you to delegate, to inform people of what needs to happen. So this initiation, this creation comes from having an internal, nonverbal creative flow, which is a direct spark with the universe. It's really important for you to follow this internal spark, to follow this creative flow in order to stay healthy and feel like you have sustainable energy. And by the wording of it, this nonverbal creative flow, it actually bypasses language and just leads you straight into doing, straight into action. And it's very important to wait for you to have that inner alignment before taking that action. And that inner alignment is going to, again, be very personal to you as an individual. Each manifestor, each initiator will have a different way that their inner alignment clicks into place. And so it may take some practice to begin recognizing that. You don't have much control over timing because timing for an initiator is determined on the internal plane. And this may feel challenging sometimes because your internal timing can be in conflict with external obligations. So this direct connection to the quantum field, to the universe, to whatever you want to call it, has you appearing to be more independent because on some level you will hear in some human design books that manifestors don't need other people. And that is just because they have that direct connection and it's all nonverbal for you. But just because you have that and you're here to do things in your own way and forge your own path doesn't not mean that you're meant to be alone or separate in your life's journey. It may feel lonely sometimes being a manifestor because of this nonverbal creative flow. So it's going to be important for you to know that you are incredibly integral to the way we all work. You are here to initiate change in the world, to initiate bringing people together. And it's important when you're initiating that to also include yourself with the others. So the initiator strategy is to inform before taking action. And this is for a few reasons. So you have a nonverbal creative flow where you don't necessarily have words, and before you do, you just get that click of inner right timing and you begin initiating. You also have a very powerful aura that is felt by everyone around you. And so you leave ripples in the ether wherever you go. So because of these two things, because of your power and because of this inner authority, that inner right timing, important for you to inform people before stepping into action. This saves you time and energy. It will allow people to prepare before you move, because remember, you're very powerful. You leave ripples. And so when you move, when you change direction, when you do something without informing, it is felt. People feel that from you. This can cause upset in relationships if you just suddenly get a download. This is what I need to do right now, and you're gone. You disappear. And your partner or kids or someone is going, hey, where'd they go? Where'd my amazing initiator go? Right? That's because you're following your internal flow. But what I want to encourage you to do now is, instead of just disappearing, go, I'm just going to go and do this thing. I'm going to go and write down this note, whatever it is that you're being inspired to do. This isn't about asking permission. This is simply about informing someone about what your next step is so they're aware. And then generally, they will not come and interrupt you because they know what you're doing. And this will also save you time and energy, because the last thing that an initiator wants when they're in the middle of their creative flow, when they're in their purpose, when they're in when they're creating their path in their world, is to be interrupted. So informing is not about asking permission. Again, it's about allowing people to prepare for your movement. And when you inform before taking action, this supports your health, because you can then move freely in your life. And it helps you to really tap into your flow without it being constricted. Because if you can't be in your flow, if you can't express yourself in your flow, that power of yours may ricochet around through your body and can push you out of alignment of your power. Your emotional theme is anger. And anger, I'm not a manifestor, but what I have learned from those that I know who are manifestors and the research that I've done is that anger isn't the best emotion to describe what a manifestor feels, but it's the best one that we have in the English language. So this emotional theme is an energetic emotion that is telling you something. It is telling you that you are being disrupted, that your creative flow is being disrupted. So I want you to think of your creative flow like a river flowing, and it's flowing at full speed. Even if it looks very peaceful and calm on top, rivers have strong currents. There's always that invisible flow that's carrying it along. So what happens if you drop a big boulder or a dam into the river? The river will splash. The water will splash everywhere. That is your creative disruption, or what we call anger or irritation. So your emotional theme occurs when your momentum is being interrupted or you feel disconnected from source, or if you don't inform someone of what you're doing, which is when you get interrupted. And so this is why it's super important to begin informing the people around you, because it will prevent the possibility of your gorgeous creative flow being dammed up, interrupted, and going everywhere. And what often happens is that anger then gets stuck in the body. And so that leads us to common conditioning that initiators may experience. So let's continue on this flow of anger. Anger, especially for women, is not okay to express in our culture. We need to keep the anger in. And so because initiators have this of anger that pops out, what happens is it can get locked down in the body. It's like, oh, I can't express this. I need to keep this locked in. And that can cause harm for your physical body because all of that power starts moving around and ricocheting inside, right? And so what I would like to encourage you is if you feel anger, find a productive way to express it, whether it's through writing without any interruption at all or any censoring at all, whether it's through hitting a pillow on your bed or whether it's going for a run or yelling into a pillow, finding a way for you to begin expressing that out of you, or just calling a friend and saying, I need to rant. Can I just rant right now so that you can get it out of you? Another common conditioning for an initiator is doingness or busyness. So because of the open sacral system, the open sacral center, you're going to take in the energy of the sacral, defined sacrals around you, the generator types, and you are going to amplify it. So you're going to seem like you have a lot of life force energy moving through your body, and you keep very busy and don't sit still or rest. It's very important for initiators to rest and sleep and have time to lie down so that their sacrals empty out of all of the generator energy that they pick up on during the day. You may find that you feel like you have to do everything by yourself. This is also common conditioning from the initiator types. So remember that you're here to delegate. You're here to inform people. So bring people in to support you. And you may feel that sometimes your power is too much and you need to hold it back or tamper it down. Just check in with yourself around these conditioning pieces. Ask yourself, do I feel this way? Do I feel like I hold my energy back, my power back? Do I feel like there's this unexpressed anger in my body? Do I feel like I need to keep going and doing and stay busy? And do I believe that I need to do it all by myself? This is the beginning of the deconditioning, is to ask yourself those questions. I really encourage you to watch some of these videos of different types. If you are a generator and know a projector or a reflector or a manifestor, or if you're a projector and are surrounded by generators, or you're a manifestor and are surrounded by generators, I encourage you to watch these other videos or do some individual research on how those types interact with the world. Personally, it has allowed me to find a very deep understanding of humanity and how we are here to exist and move through the world. And also finding a level of deep compassion for different types and their own unique struggles. So go out and have fun, and thank you so much for watching.